Our world is more connected now than ever before. We can speak to each other from thousands of miles away while meeting other cultures in our local communities. We eat food from other countries, wear clothes from international brands, and travel to explore new places. These are simple pleasures that many of us enjoy regularly. All of this can help us to escape the stress of work, school, and anything else happening in our daily lives. But not everyone has these opportunities, and as a result, some people are left behind. The Sustainable Development Goals agreed by world leaders in 2015 give us all a set of targets to reach so that no one is left behind. The issues range from eradicating poverty to achieving peace, from becoming more sustainable to ensuring access to quality education. When looking at each goal, we can automatically think about who in our own society is left behind. Those within the traveller or LGBTQI+ communities, those with disabilities, those living in socio-economically disadvantaged areas, asylum seekers, refugees, and migrants. Their situations are mirrored across the world. People affected by humanitarian crises, communities living in the global south, fragile states, those living with conflict in war zones or on small island development states. Where someone is hungry or facing discrimination, they could also be dealing with multiple other issues to do with housing, education, or health, making them even more vulnerable to exclusion. The SDGs empower us to act in a way that takes other people into consideration, and which also considers the health of the planet as of critical importance. We need each other, people and planet. The SDGs remind us that by working together, we can change the course of our own lives and the lives of those we may never meet. And there are so many ways for us to do that. Personally, we can gradually change our consumption habits to be more eco-friendly or buy fair trade products. Locally, we can join activities by community and youth groups to learn about different social, cultural and political issues, building our critical thinking skills. Nationally, we can reach out to our elected leaders to speak about the changes that we would like to see. We can also understand our place as global citizens, because like we saw with the COVID-19 pandemic, we are all connected. Understanding ourselves as global as well as local citizens can help us to see the struggle for access to quality education as an issue of being left behind. This is faced by young girls in global south countries like India and Afghanistan, as well as impacting young people in the Irish education system. Educational inequality is a global phenomenon, and it is a systemic issue. We know that children in the global south, in places like Ethiopia and Somalia, need access to decent food, shelter and healthcare to make progress in their lives, especially where they have been displaced from their homes. We know too that young people in Ireland are impacted by homelessness, and this is another kind of displacement. This has a knock-on effect on access to decent food and healthcare, including mental health services. We also know that extreme weather events and climate disasters impact the people who have contributed least to the climate crisis. From climate change to conflict to persistent poverty, young people are disproportionately impacted by interlinked global crises and continue to bear the brunt of social, political, economic and cultural upheaval. When we recognise inequality as a systemic issue, we recognise too that the local and global are always connected, and actions we take locally have a global impact. This gives us the opportunity to think about the kind of conscious and intentional actions we can take in challenging inequality and in being a good local global neighbour. It also gives us an opportunity to think about how we can rise collectively to the challenges faced by millions of people at home and abroad. No matter where or when we are born, we should have the same access to opportunities. The Leave No One Behind promise is a commitment to reaching the furthest behind first and creating an equitable world for people and planet.